Hi, I'm Paul, the Happy Gilder. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to go over the process of acid etching glass. Now, this isn't a difficult technique, but it obviously does require handling a very dangerous chemical. So as well as the technique, I'm going to go over all the precautions as well that you should be taking. What we'll need to do this is hydrofluoric acid. I'm using 60% hydrofluoric acid, and that's not necessarily what you need, and the percentage of the acid will just determine how much water you mix with it for the final mix before you apply it to the glass. So it's quite difficult to get hold of now. Back when I first started this 5 years ago, I was ordering hydrofluoric acid off eBay, but legislation's changed, so I think you have to order it as a company. Next thing you need is an aggregate called mica. Now, what I'll be using is the coarsest variant, which is, I think it's either 1400 or 1600, and you mix this with the acid and water mix, and that's what produces the stippled effect, that kind of makes it sparkle and the light catches it once you've applied the gold leaf. You need a decent plastic beaker and then something plastic for mixing it and then applying it. You can use plastic cutlery for this as well. I just use this because it's something I had in the shed. But most importantly, you need safety gear and you need a well ventilated area. So I'm going to apply the acid in here, but I'm going to do it with the window and the door open. But when I leave it to kind of take effect, I'm going to transfer it and take it outside. And then I'll leave it out there until it needs to be washed off. But I'll be wearing a full face visor, an apron and chemical rubber gloves. It's just so dangerous and I don't want to risk getting any of it on me, and I want to make sure that I'm giving the right message when it comes to the precautions everyone should take when they're handling something as dangerous as this. So what I'm going to do is apply a piece of vinyl to the back and the front of this glass. Now the back will have the design areas and the bits that I want to acid etch cut out of them, and the front is just to protect the glass. And the reason I'm having this on the front is even the fumes can kind of have an effect on this. So I've had a piece before where I didn't cover the front and I had the little sticky pad so it was facing down, and when I removed these there was a burn mark around the edge which I couldn't get out of the glass, so that was ruined. So it'll be completely covered on the front and then covered on the back with the areas exposed that I'm going to apply the acid and water mix to. So I'm going to go ahead, just do a time-lapse run through me getting the glass prepped. If you want more information on this process, that's available in my first video, which is how to make a custom mirror. So there's a link for that up here, and I'll put a link in the description as well. But I'll just run through it so you can kind of have an overview of what the process looks like before we start with the acid mix. Okay? So that's everything prepped. Now I'm going to mix up the acid solution and apply it to the glass. So the first thing that I've done here is I've got water in my plastic jug. Now 60% acid, you mix 3 parts water to 2 parts acid. Depending on the percentage of acid you can get your hands on, you'll have to do that math. I've used 40% acid before, and that was around about a 50-50 mix with the water. I'll put the water in here first as well, because you want to add acid to the water and not the other way around, because it can start spitting. So acid into the water. Once that's in there, start putting the mica in and mixing it into the consistency that we need. Now I've got 75 ml of water in here, so I'm going to pour 50 ml of acid in. And again, I'm protected, got my visor. You don't really want to be breathing this in, there are fumes, so I'm going to open my window. Once I put the visor down, I won't be talking, I'll turn the sound off and probably talk over the top of it. So just open the window and get started. So it goes without saying that you need to be extra cautious when you're handling the acid. So really steady hand when pouring it, and make sure you've got a good grip on the bottle, and then just pour it slowly. What I'm then doing is adding mica in quite generous amounts, because we want to mix this into a sort of paste. A paste with a tiny bit of liquid in the bottom, just so that it'll still move around. You don't want it so thick because it's still got to seep into the areas of the design. So it still needs to maintain a very slight liquid form. Then what I'm doing is just applying this and spreading it across. Now the tool I'm using is just a flat bit of plastic, so it's really handy for it, but like I've said before, if it's a small piece you can just use a plastic spoon and spoon it on, and then use the back of that spoon to spread it. But I'm just making sure this is in every single piece of the design so that there's nothing missed. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to leave it outdoors for between 20 and 25 minutes, so to be exact I'll go 23 minutes, and that's what I'll always time my acid etching at. When it comes to rinsing stuff, you just need to be near a drain and use a lot of water. So filling up the beaker first and then rinsing that, and then thoroughly rinsing down the drain, and the same when washing the acid mix off the back of the glass. Just, you can't use too much water, and you want this to be completely diluted by the time it's down the drain and not left on any surfaces. So I've rinsed all of the acid mix off and thoroughly diluted it as I've washed it down the drain. And this, I hope you can see it in this camera, this is the stippled effect that you'll get on the glass. Now this is obviously just the start of this piece. I've masked off bits around the edge which we'd call bright lines, which means every acid etched bit will always look nicer if you have a clean gild around there, like a mirror finish gild. So I've left those as a separate bit that I'll pick out for gilding, and then I'll reverse paint this with the colours of the actual logo. But that's the process of acid etching. Obviously it goes without saying the most important thing is just being safe when you do it, working in a ventilated area, having your skin protection, keeping obviously kids and animals away from it. It is one of the nicest effects you can get on glass, but unfortunately it's just one of the most dangerous things you'll have to work with. So safety first. So I'm going to just go ahead, finish this, and then wrap up that video. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and click the little thumbs up icon, and please share it with anyone else who you think might enjoy it. So till next time, cheers.